This is Ben Morris. I'm with STSI, and I'm here to walk you through the NLA Data Explorer prototype that we built as part of an RFI challenge put out by EPA. This prototype is based on data from the National Lakes Assessment, which covers thousands of lakes and around 1,000 columns of information about each lake. So it's a fairly extensive data set. What's great about what EPA has done so far is that you can download the data. In fact, you can download a zip file which contains a couple dozen files of raw data. So it's wonderful that the information is out there and in this machine-readable form. The challenge is it's very difficult to answer the question, is this data useful to me? So there's a lot there. I know I can get to it. I just don't know what's in there. So that's where we developed the prototype. So we're able to search for lakes. We can pull up by name or by the ID if that's available. And we can look through all of the information about the lake. We can click through those different files to see what's in each. We wanted to go a step further though than just regurgitating the data. We wanted to help understand what's in here overall and what do all these things mean. So if I look at something like the EPA region, I can see what that is. I can see what the value is for this lake, and I can see what the distribution is across the data set. I can also look at numeric fields and see the descriptive data and see that an area of 69 and change is actually pretty small, and I can get a sense of the range across the whole data set. Another thing that we put in here is right now placeholders for more metadata and definitions of the data elements. And part of the point of this prototype is to convey to stakeholders and the data owners that if they could provide us with that data, that metadata, in a structured format, then we could make that available through interfaces like this application. Again, helping potential analysts or developers really understand what's inside and if this data set can be useful to them. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about is really under the hood. So this application is actually built on top of an API. And this API is based on GraphQL. And this is something that we've been meaning to try out, and this prototype seemed like a great opportunity to do so. I don't want to go in depth here because there's much better intros and information out there, but GraphQL is essentially an alternative to a REST pattern of API, and GraphQL was developed by Facebook. So think about crawling through that tree of Facebook-style data of friends, friends of friends, pictures of friends, etc. So again, back to the underlying API, we built this application on top of it, but other developers can use that same API to query the data however they'd like. Now, it's one of the great things about GraphQL is that it has a lot of metadata built in. So I can look at what information is available. I can drill through and get metadata and documentation. And again, this is another area where if we had some of those the descriptions provided by the data owners, this could make for a much richer user experience. And so this graphical tool is something that allows a potential developer to develop queries, to change them, and it has all sorts of neat features. In addition to the documentation, it has things like type ahead functionality. And so you can kind of really explore that data and understand a whole lot about it and even get some real-time feedback. You can test queries and run queries, and it's all kind of discoverable, and it's all done without a lot of effort by our team, which is important for keeping the cost low to for any client, particularly for the government. So that is kind of the dime tour of the application. It's available for anyone to browse, both the application, front-end application, and the source code on GitHub. So thanks for your time, and hope you enjoy.